Alrighty, so here with the Massey, the 4707 today. Thought I'd give you a little update on it. I'll flip the camera around here in a second, but the highlight of this video, what I want to talk about on it is the clutch. So in my April 11th corn planting video, somewhere in there I had made a comment about the clutch on this tractor being one of the worst clutches I've ever had in a tractor so far. So anyway, only one person so far picked up on that, and that was DLH Farms, I believe. But he made a comment about the clutch may be out of what is so-called calibration. And I don't know exactly what all that involves. And he noted he might have some info on that, might not. But he has run across that before. I don't know if he had to do it on his own 4710 or not, but maybe not. So my point is, the clutch is giving me some issues, and I'll go into that here in a second and what exactly it's doing. But there may be a fix for it. I just hadn't dove into it yet. I hope there's a fix for it, because yesterday it aggravated me to no end. I had the bucket on here and I was trying to clean out a ditch that some gravel on the road had washed during some of the heavy rains we had and the flooding, washed a bunch of gravel over in the ditch and stopped it up, and therefore was causing water to drain across the field. And the tractor was hardly usable. I actually quit using. I went over there and tried a couple times, and the clutch was giving me such a fit I could not control my speed and approach at trying to dig this ditch out without it jerking and causing me issues. I just took it to the house. I actually got the 1025R and brought over and slowly did it with it, and it did a good job of it. Actually, just took me a while. But anyway, I think it's Farming 4G also has a video of one of the larger Massey tractors. Now, it is a Dana transmission tractor he had, or has got, and they did the calibration procedure on it. Now, I don't know if it's the same for this one, probably not. But it fixed his problem, and it sounded similar to what I'm having, so I'm hoping there's a simple fix to this, but we shall see. But let me turn this around, and I will explain what it's doing. Okay, so there's the bucket I was trying to point out. So let me show you what it's doing. I guess first off I should get a key and open the door, and I'll show you how many hours I got on it, because I'm not even sure. I think it's somewhere around the 50 mark. I may be wrong, but like I said, the clutch is really my main problem right now. 74.2 hours. I've actually got more on it than I realized. I've been using it a lot lately. But anyway, so the clutch is, I believe this is a dual disc clutch. Matter of fact, I don't believe, I'm pretty positive there's a dual disc clutch in this tractor. Now, the 6110M had a dual disc clutch in it, and it was fine, other than occasionally I'd catch myself, especially doing loader work, in that first stage of the clutch, and then let out too fast and hit that second gauge and it kind of jerk. This one, you can feel the two stages in it pretty good, and the way it is right now, they're pretty far apart. So basically, as soon as I start letting out here, the first stage is engaging. Then I come on out about midway, and that second stage starts to engage, and then I can kind of ease through it. Now, my issues are with the first stage, and I don't know if that term is correct or not, but that's how I'm going to word it. So when I first start the tractor, and the tractor's cold, and for a little bit. The clutch is fine. It's very smooth through both stages. It's very manageable. It's easy to use. It's not a lot of pressure. It's a great clutch. But after the tractor gets warmed up and I use it a little bit, what starts happening is this first stage becomes nothing more than either on or off. There is no in between, and it gets really jerky, and you can just hear the gears through the transmission just jam. I mean, you can just hear them all, you know, crunch together at once, because it's engaging and disengaging. Just, I mean, there is no in between. There's no way to smoothly come through that first stage or smoothly go off. It gets just on off, on off, on off. And when it jerks you, you start kind of going up and down with the clutch like that, and that makes it even worse. So that's what's going on. Now, interestingly enough, the power reverser here doesn't do it. So one of the things is when I'm going down the road, you know, and I'm going up through gears, getting up to speed, I'll push the clutch in, change gears over here, and let off, and you'll hear the gears kind of jam again. It's, you know, it's doing its on-off thing, and then I ease through the second stage. But if I use this, so this reverser has a feature, most of you may know it, but in case you don't, if you pull up on the lever like this, it declutches. And if you let off, it reclutches. Now, if I pull up, change my gear over here, and let off, it's smooth. And that's with the sensitivity here set in the middle at 0. And I can go down the road like that and shift through smoothly, but I can't do it with the foot clutch. You hit that first stage and it just like, you know, no clutch to fully engaged. And I've noticed the same thing with the power reverser button over here. Yes, I've still got all this covered in plastic. But if I use the declutch button and shift gears and let off, it will jerk. That first stage bites really hard. But if I use this, it don't. So I don't know what the difference is between this, the foot clutch, and the declutch button over here, and why it's doing what it's doing. But it's aggravating me knowing, like I said, it was unusable for what I needed to do yesterday with the loader. I just could not do it. If I got that bucket in any tension and was trying to, I was going to break something pretty much. So I just said, stop. I'm taking it back to the house, and I'll get that little tractor and do it with it. And so the point is, I got to get this fixed, because it's done it from day one almost. I just kept thinking, okay, there must be some air in a line, a hydraulic, because this is a hydraulically assisted clutch. And I thought, you know, and I guess it baffled me that it did it sometimes and sometimes it didn't. But something's going to have to happen here, because with using the corn planter over here, you know, I did a lot of turning around and backing up at my in-rows, just planting those 2 rows at a time. I did adjust my wheels, by the way, where I can turn a lot tighter, but it was just, like I said, every in-row, I was trying to be so light on this clutch pedal, it was actually, I was getting cramps in my leg, because I knew it was going to jolt. And the only thing that helps me right now is if I keep a little pressure on the brakes, because if there's no brakes, I'm sitting on level ground, everything's just kind of free to move, and you let out and it catches in that first stage, you just hear those gears through the transmission just kind of all at once. But if I hold the brakes still, that kind of keeps that from happening. And when it does start to bite, it kind of smooths it out, but it's still, you got to be really sensitive with it. in how you move it, or it's going to bite and bite hard. So anyway, I'm hoping, like DLH has said, and what I've seen on Farming 4G, that there is some kind of a calibration procedure to do this, where hopefully there ain't some tearing into the tractor to fix this, because I'd really hate to see this tractor split in half at 70-something hours because of this, and I highly doubt that needs to be right now. But now the interesting thing I seen on the video I watched, the Farming 4G, and he went through the calibration procedure on his. Now again, that was a Dana transmission, so it's a different animal a little bit here, but you couldn't do the calibration procedure until the transmission had reached a operating temperature. And I realized that this is kind of what's going on here with me. I don't have this issue until the tractor's warmed up, and then it starts doing it. So it leads me to believe it's a similar thing here, whatever needs to be adjusted or calibrated or whatever. I just don't know how to do it on this tractor. I don't know that it's the same steps as his, that his being a Dana and this being a, because his was, you know, I think was going through some of the gears and things, where this one is not a power shift transmission, so I don't know how that's all going to work. And it acts differently between the high and low range too. I've noticed it's very less severe in the low range than it is when it's in the high range. It still may be doing the exact same issue, but it's maybe because it's in a lower range, it's not spinning the gears as fast and jamming them through the transmission like it is in the high range. I don't know. But if any of y'all have run across this or know, I think I'm gonna, I don't know whether to start with the dealer or actually start with one of my AGCO contacts and see, because if it's as simple as just like Farming 4G did, where it was kind of a sequence of doing some scenario with the power reverser to getting into the calibration mode and just letting it do its thing, then I can easily do that. But I don't know, it may differ on this tractor. But something's got to happen, because it's starting to aggravate me really bad. And I'm probably going to be planning with this tractor on the soybeans, and I'm going to be on and off the clutch again a lot there. And really, any loader work with this, it's really aggravating, because you're back and forth a lot. If you use this, it's smooth. I can't figure out why it's not doing it with this versus the clutch pedal. There's something in the engaging process that's different between this and the clutch pedal. So, I don't know, but that's the situation with the clutch. There's a few other things about the tractor that could be better, improved, and whatnot, and I've went over some of that stuff already. You know, with the 3-point hitch using the planter, it would have been really nice to have this button right here, where you could set this thing and just hit that button to go up and hit it again to go down. If I had that button, I would prefer to see maybe up here somewhere a speed control knob on how fast and how fast or slow you want it to go up and down, which, you know, the 5610 had all that, I believe, but pretty much on this, you're just pushing this up and down, and it clicks in here and it clicks in at the top. I don't like this little deal. It sometimes will move on me. Well, so I moved it right then. It don't stay locked in sometimes, and if you're not careful, if you grab this on the wrong side, it will move the whole thing with it. But if you catch it on this side, it won't do it. Anyway, that is what it is. But yeah, I have had the disc mower hooked up to it, just to go over the mower for the year and get it ready. and I had a few issues with the 3-point hitch on it. I'm gonna have to approach hooking up to it differently than I have with the John Deere. Just the way the 3-point hitch is on this. The links, actually the stabilizer bars will limit how far this drawbar will go this way. Like this drawbar will go all the way if you unhook it. And what I mean by that is this ball in here only turns so far, and when it maxes out, it catches here. It don't matter, you know, you take this pin out, it don't matter. It binds, this rod that it slides in will bind in here. So the only way to get it to go over any further is to unpin this thing. And that becomes an issue because if you take this off, then this spacer can slide, and if this one goes this way, then you have this slot. This can go up and down. So it's, this angle needs to be adjusted. Because when I hook up to that mower, I like to push this drawbar, this one, all the way over, because I'm going to the inside of the mower on that one, and I'm going to the outside of the mower with that one to get my offset right to run the mower on the outside of the tire wheel over there. But anyway, that was just another thing I ran into. But anyway, that's that. That's your story on the clutch. If anybody has any information on that, I'd appreciate it, because like I said, I want to get that recalibrated or adjusted or fixed, because it's starting to drive me nuts. Otherwise, the tractor has been fine. It's the perfect size. I mean, the tractor is weight, like I said, the weight wise, size wise, everything is just, it's the perfect little niche for what I'm doing. And you know, I like it. It's just, like I said, I expected there to be some quirks. There was some quirks with the 5610. But it's just, you know, seeing if we can get through them here, and how easy indoor complicated stuff like this may turn out to be. But I am using it a lot right now, and I do not want it to, whoa, I about tripped over my mower deck here. Yee, that would have made an interesting video. But I don't want it to have to go back to the dealer right now, just because I'm in the middle of everything, and I've got it already set up for my GPS, my spray controller, and even if they gave me a loaner tractor, it's just going to be a pill to, anyway, I just don't want to deal with it. But like I said, it's not too bad if you're just running in the field, like, you know, not using the clutch a whole lot. But if you're having to use it a lot, like I was trying to do yesterday with that bucket, it's almost, you can't use it. It's just, it's too jerky and too on and off, and it's just, you can't be sensitive with it at all. So there you go. I'm gonna quit rambling on and get something done here. Thanks for watching. See ya.